Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the channel. And today we are going to discuss on an introduction to Active Directory Recycle Bin. So this is a two-part introduction to the recycle bin. So in part 1, we are going to we'll understand some of the basic concepts which you must know while if you want to know what exactly is Active Directory Recycle Bin. Then we'll understand what exactly happens when we delete an object in Active Directory, and after that we'll understand what exactly is Active Directory Recycle Bin. So let's start. So in say part number 2, we'll go with the graphical representation of the recycle bin, and then we'll understand the prerequisites before enabling the recycle bin feature, and we'll have some good amount of demos in our second part. So let us understand some basic concepts before we proceed to the Active Directory Recycle Bin. So there are two concepts which we must understand. The first concept is tombstone life cycle period of an object, and the second concept is the garbage collection process, or just garbage collection. So these are the two concepts which we must understand to understand how say the recycle bin works. So let us understand tombstone life cycle period of an object. So whenever an object is deleted in Active Directory, it doesn't get permanently erased from the database. Instead, it stays in Active Directory for say an amount of 180 days, and these 180 days are called as tombstone life cycle period of an object, or simply tombstone period. That's 180 days by default. This is by default. So when the object is deleted, it is not immediately removed from the Active Directory database. Instead, the object is marked for deletion and stored for an amount of time, and this is again replicated on all the domain controllers. So after deleting an object, there is only one attribute of the object which say gets edited or gets set to true, and that is deleted. So the is deleted attribute of an object is set to true, and let's see it. So these are the default tombstone lifecycle periods as per the operating system. So it started from Windows 2000 server, it was 60 days, and since Windows Server 2003 R2 Service Pack 2, it's 180 days by default, and we can change it. So hope you have understood tombstone lifecycle period. So let us go ahead and understand what exactly is a garbage collection process. So again, this is a process which runs on say every domain controller within an interval of 12 hours, and this is a maintenance process on Active Directory database. It runs every 12 hours, and one of the tasks of garbage collection process is to erase all the objects which have crossed the tombstone life cycle period. This is one of the tasks. There are many tasks, but this is one of the tasks. It will say erase all the object which has crossed the tombstone life cycle period. And the main say function of function of garbage collection process is to free up the Active Directory database. So what exactly happens in the backend when we delete an object? So when we try to delete an object, Active Directory will first say run a series of checks to ensure the object can be deleted or not in first place. Then once AD determines the object can be deleted, it turns it into tombstone by setting objects is deleted attribute to true. So simply active directory, whenever we delete an object, it will simply turn the is deleted attribute to true. So AD then strips unnecessary attributes from the object and only preserves certain important attributes such as the GUID and the SID. So it will just remove all the other attributes and just keep some important attributes such as say global unique identifier and the security identifier in the tombstone. So an object which is in tombstone or deleted object will only have say some important attributes such as GUID and SID. Now we must know there's a very important thing we must know, that it's very important to note that say user group links are not preserved in tombstone. Means let's say if we delete a user and that user belongs to say 15 groups, so the group information will not be preserved in tombstone. Okay, so it will be lost forever. So that's the thing we have to remember. So let's understand the is deleted attribute of a user named Sandra Jones. So it's something like over here I've opened up the properties of the username Sandra Jones, and we have clicked on the attribute editor tab at the top, and we can see the is deleted attribute for Sandra Jones right now is not set. So what do you mean by not set? Means that the user is live user, it's not deleted. Okay, so whenever we delete this user, the is deleted attribute will be set to true and we won't be able to see that user in Active Directory users and computers. So this is the is deleted attribute of a live user which is not set. So let's move ahead. So again, after AD has updated the object's attribute, it moves the object in a special container called as deleted objects container, which is the naming context. So there is just a special container called as deleted objects container, and Active Directory moves that object to this particular special container called as deleted objects. So let us understand what exactly is Active Directory Recycle Bin. So the Active Directory Recycle Bin is a new feature which was introduced in Windows Server 2008 R2 Active Directory. It helps the recovery of deleted Active Directory objects without requiring restoration from backups or even restarting our Active Directory domain services or rebooting a domain controller. So it was released in Windows Server 2008 R2. The Active Directory Recycle Bin helps minimize directory services downtime by enhancing ability to preserve the and say restore the accidentally deleted Active Directory objects with restoring Active Directory data from back without. So we don't need to restore say Active Directory from the backups. Instead we can restore an object directly from the recycle bin. So it is a pain in the neck to restore Active Directory from the backup. So it requires a lot of downtime and it's a messy activity of restoring your Active Directory database from backup. So let's take an example. Let's say suppose a system administrator working in an Active Directory environment accidentally deletes an object in Active Directory. So the effects can be devastating, man. The effects can be say end users productivity might be lost, or there might be a broken network functionality, we don't know. So it's again it can be a huge loss. So the Active Directory Recycle Bin comes in handy when you accidentally delete an object and need to restore it. So it's very simple. Right click and restore. So this is end of part 1. Hope you enjoyed today's session. So in part 2 we are going to discuss the graphical representation of Active Directory recycle bin, and we are going to discuss the prerequisites for enabling the recycle bin, and there are a lot of demos in part 2. So hope you have enjoyed today's session. Thank you very much for watching this session today. If you think this channel is helping you to learn anything new, please subscribe and share this video with your technical community. Thank you very much for taking time. Bye bye.